Not everything must be beautiful and good. You need to apply some damage to your brain with our game. Thank you very much.
What's up, guys? Nolan here, and we are essentially at a dead end when it comes to Lightkeeper task progress, or we might as well be, as this last one, let's just say, is going to take a while. If you didn't know, Lightkeeper is the end game for Escape from Tarkov right now. It is no longer the kappa. It is Lightkeeper. We were working under the assumption that he was just like any of the other traders when BSG were calling him a trader, but turns out he's not even accessible until you, as a player, are pretty much around the time of earning a kappa container, and that is just the beginning. Also, he isn't trading anything. There's just some unlocks, but I won't get into too many details. At this point, I wonder if Nikita meant to call him just a quest giver this whole time instead of trader, maybe NPC. That would fit much better. So we're going to talk about that along with the possible solutions and some feedback, but it does require a spoiler warning just in case anyone out there is interested. So if you are worried about Lightkeeper spoilers, even though these tasks are not something 90% of the community will even reach, let alone complete, then click off now. While they're doing that, remember, if you like this video, there's a button for that. Subscribe for more like it, or jump into the comments and let me know what you think a good solution or change would be to these tasks or the game as a whole. Just remember to listen to all of the information that I have before you do it so that you're working with the best information possible. Okay, so again, Lightkeeper is the end game, and it is easily the most difficult content in the game, as I really believe it should be if it is the end game. But how difficult is too difficult? A lot of the changes that were made over the past few days were to lower the effect of RNG, aka randomness or luck or unluck for some people, has on our combat in game, and now it might be time to have a look at the tasks as well. We're going to break down Lightkeeper's tasks and what I believe we get out of this to figure out whether or not it's worth it. And I don't mean worth it right now, because again, 90% of the people playing will not make it, but I mean after release, because after release, there is supposed to be a system set in place where there will not be any more wipes, so you will have all of the time in the world to play the game and get to these tasks and Lightkeeper in general. So the prerequisites of accessing Lightkeeper have changed a little, so here's the updated list. If you are looking to get there yourself, you need all of these quests finished before you get the first mechanic quest called Network Provider to start unlocking Lightkeeper. There's 5 quests from mechanic before you get the key to the tower quest to get the transmitter that allows you to access Lightkeeper. So let's sprint through these real quick. After you've completed all of these tasks on this list here, and you have Scav Karma 2 at least, you then need to find 4 electronic components, 4 coffdoms, 4 gas analyzers, and 4 broken G-phones. Then you set up 4 radio repeaters, which isn't too bad if you don't have them. The craft is pretty easy in the hideout, but if you're working your way towards here, try and have 4 of these saved before you get to this point. Then you need to eliminate 20 PMCs around the lighthouse bridge. Now, there is a wide area around that bridge. Turns out a few of these quests when it involves killing PMCs for Lightkeeper, it might mention a specific area, but it really means a quite wide area around that specific area as well. But honestly, it might not be wide enough. There's no reason for players to need to go to this area of Lighthouse, so basically everyone that's gotten to this point has cheesed it by queuing separately with some friends and killing them when they get there. Now, a bunch of people did get lucky though, as they were able to clear it by getting players off of spawn at Landslide, as well as, you know, exit camping, and people that were happening to go check out the Lighthouse Island, or people that were marking the strikers. But it is just not often enough. It's too much RNG involved, and it doesn't respect your time in game. A lot of the subjects these days, a lot of the changes have been covering respecting your time put into the game. Now, after that, you need to mark 4 bunkers on woods. Very simple there, but some very interesting bunkers, which I talked about in a different video. By the way, there is a full playlist for everything that involves Lightkeeper. I advise you check those out if you are interested. Then last, you need 20 SJ1s, 8 SJ6s, and 2 SJ9s found in raid before you gain access to the key to the tower quest, where you get the transmitter to access the island and not be killed. Now that we know all of this stuff, if you are working your way towards there, at least you can save these items if you find them, so it does make it a bit easier. But again, those 20 kills of those PMCs around that bridge is pretty nuts. Now, for this transmitter quest, you need 2 plexiglass, 2 military boards, an LCD, a coffdom, insulating tape, and the transmitter body. Seems easy enough, but the transmitter body spawns in a single random location on Lighthouse each raid, with possibly dozens of spawns, already 10 of which are shown on the wiki right now. You will need to check each of these spawns each raid until you find one to start this quest. Also, there's reports of people being able to find multiple of these after this quest has begun. So if you do find them again, I obviously suggest that you hold on to them. And if you don't, then there is a craft in the hideout where you can craft these as well. It takes 12 hours, which from task to task, there is a 24-hour time gate. So the 12 hours actually works out fine. Obviously, just make sure you do it within that 12-hour span, or else you're going to need to end up waiting longer from task to task. And that is just the beginning. That is what you need to do to meet Lightkeeper, and then you start his quest line from there. And that is getting a lot of flack for being this this difficult, but even as someone who likely won't get there myself this wipe, I have to admit, I think there's only one issue, and that's the PMC kills. I think most of the flack is around people hearing the word traitor and assuming that Lightkeeper was like the other traitors, when in reality, it is the end game. We need to change the way that we think about Lightkeeper so that it makes more sense to people, because genuinely, it does make sense now, and I really don't think we should be calling him a traitor. I think we should be calling him a quest giver or maybe an NPC. We all know outposts already as one of the most difficult tasks in the game, simply because there isn't incentives for players to go there unless they're on the quest themselves. Well, there's even less for the area around our side of the bridge to Lighthouse, and that is just to meet Lightkeeper. After you meet him, he'll have a ton of tasks for you, which I went through in a video in the description, but we got further progress on that now, where there's another one where you need 500-meter kills on scav snipers, as well as level 10 sniper skill. So that is an obvious time sink, with only a couple locations that you're going to even be able to be 500 meters away from a scav sniper to be able to hit them, let alone be able to kill them. But that was the second to last task that we have right now. The last task is a doozy, because you need 50, yes, I'll say it again, 50 PMC kills. Luckily, this one is at least an entire map. It's Streets of Tarkov. So you need 50 PMC kills on the Streets of Tarkov location. Initially, it was just around the convoy in the middle of the map, which just is nuts, but BSG changed it up. And this is after you need to kill 25 PMCs around the mountain on woods, which BSG also increased the range for. A piece of this, if you want to leave a comment about this, is how many kills for PMCs would you be okay with if it was the entire map instead of specifically that mountain? Where again, a major portion of this feedback that we're looking to get from this is removing as much RNG as possible from these quests. And this is finally the major subject that I wanted to have as the point of feedback on this video. So to make it quick and easy, I do have a poll up on Twitter, which you'll find that linked in the description if you want to take part. Otherwise, leave your feedback in the comments or on the Discord. So to get to this point in the story, you would need to have killed the 100+ PMCs wearing the crazy stuff you need to wear and the locations that you need to be, using what you need to use to just get to Lightkeeper. But then you need to kill another 95 for his quests in specific locations at least. And again, we don't even know what comes after this 50 kill quest on Streets yet. So the question is obvious to everyone at this point. Is it worth it? The majority already knows it's not even possible for them to complete it in the span of a wipe, but there will come a day where there are no more wipes if you choose to play a version of the game that no longer wipes. It will be like a multiplayer stalker experience basically at that point, just obviously not as much sci-fi stuff. Well, what if this is the win state? What if Lightkeeper is the end of the game? What if somewhere down the line, not that far away from this 50 kill quest by the way, Lightkeeper shows us a way to escape from Tarkov and we win the game? That is not tinfoil hat. That is real, by the way. To be clear though, it is a theory. It's just a very likely one that it is Lightkeeper in particular that will be doing this, because it will have to happen at some point, so why not him? BSG are going to have a storyline that leads you to a way to escape from Tarkov, and they need to test the functionality of that full system before release. I think that way to test it is Lightkeeper, personally. Everything we have in-game right now is considered side quests or things that we do not actually need to do after launch for the story of Escape from Tarkov when we have that main storyline. Well, one of those things would need to be something that affects the end game, and Lightkeeper could be on his way to nuking Tarkov. Yes, that nuke, and this time it's no theory. There's connections now outlined in a few videos I've done around Lightkeeper, and I understand it's tough to keep track of. I'm trying to do my best to get everything together as we are also learning more. So I've made a playlist for him specifically if you want to check that out and know what's up with everything that we've done with him. The TLDR there is that it is extremely likely there is a terror group facility or somebody connected to Lightkeeper facility under the mountain on woods that is a uranium enrichment facility. There's also words on the side of the lighthouse specifically that says danger, radiation, and Lightkeeper is now confirmed to be working with the cult, and the cult want the blue flame to come back. The blue flame is the EMP. That EMP comes from a nuke. So when you tie it all together, Lightkeeper is probably trying to nuke Tarkov. And I'll say it again, this is not like tinfoil level theory stuff. This is explained in the lore. It's explained in the Tarkov books. It's even explained from Lightkeeper himself at some of the stuff. There's quests right now to go check the doors of that facility under the woods mountain. So it is actually all connected. So for today, the feedback is if you had all of the time in the world to finish these quests, and if this does lead to the game being finished in some way, would you be all right with that? Or would you want more? Would you want less? Would you want it to be more difficult, or would you want it to be easier? Or would you just expect something else? Also, in case you're worried, after you win or lose the game, because you would be able to lose the game, you can keep playing with that character at certain stages, especially if you lost. There has been some discussions of permadeath or permanent effects to your character, such as effects from radiation or addiction, that Nikita has talked about in the past. But in certain ways, is the end isn't really the end, and you would be able to keep playing with that character. But that is definitely a subject for a separate video. That could be a whole other video that can go 20 minutes if I needed to talk about that stuff along with what Nikita has said about it. But again, we're going to talk about that another time. So there's the Twitter poll, but also the comments here and the Discord for your feedback. You'll find all of that below. Please let me know, guys. Get in with the discussion. And with the moves that BSG are doing lately, they'll probably listen, actually. But that's going to do it for today, guys. If you like this video, there's a button for that. Subscribe for more like it, or jump in the comments with your feedback. Follow me on Twitter or join the Discord, both linked below. If you like what I do with Tarkov, chances are you'll like what I do with other games, so check those channels out right here. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a nice day. See you guys.